Hello, and welcome back to Retirement Briefing. I'm really glad you're here with me today. Take a moment, get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of coffee or tea, and let's slow things down together. Around here, this is a calm place. A place where we talk honestly about retirement, Social Security, and the big financial questions facing American seniors without panic and without pressure. Right now, many seniors are asking the same quiet but important question. Is this $2,000 stimulus check really happening, or is it about to disappear because of a Supreme Court ruling? If you've seen the headlines, heard neighbors talking, watched clips online, or felt that familiar knot of uncertainty in your stomach, you are absolutely not alone. And today, I want to walk you through what's actually going on, calmly, clearly, and respectfully, so you can walk away feeling informed instead of worried. My name is Matthew, and for more than 15 years, I've worked closely with American seniors, helping them protect their savings and make steady, confident financial decisions after 60. I've sat across kitchen tables. I've listened to real concerns about groceries, prescriptions, rent, and property taxes. And I know how stressful it can be when legal and political decisions suddenly feel tied to your money, especially when the information comes fast and rarely makes sense. So let's take a deep breath together and focus on what truly matters for your peace of mind. You may be hearing that the Supreme Court is preparing a ruling connected to tariffs, and that this ruling could somehow decide the fate of a proposed $2,000 stimulus or dividend-style payment, possibly around Christmas. Some voices are saying the money is guaranteed. Others are saying it's already dead and never arriving. Unfortunately, neither extreme helps retirees who rely on stability, not speculation. My goal here isn't to tell you what to believe, but to help you understand what is confirmed, what remains uncertain, and what you should and should not be counting on right now. When you understand the full picture, fear tends to loosen its grip. At the center of this conversation is a Supreme Court review involving certain emergency tariffs. These tariffs are essentially fees placed on imported goods, and that money flows into the U.S. Treasury. The administration has repeatedly pointed to this tariff revenue as the potential funding source for what has been described as a $2,000 dividend-style payment to Americans. As of today, while I'm recording this, the Supreme Court has not issued its final ruling. No checks have been approved. No payments have been scheduled. No tariffs have officially been struck down or refunded. We are in a waiting period, and waiting is where uncertainty grows and misinformation spreads fastest. Here's what tariffs mean in simple terms. When goods come into the United States from other countries, tariffs add a fee. Those fees add up over time, sometimes into very large amounts. The administration has said that hundreds of billions of dollars have already been collected, with long-term projections reaching into the trillions over the next decade. That's where the idea of a dividend payment comes from, sharing a portion of that revenue back with the public. But this part is critical. Just because revenue exists does not mean a check is approved, funded, or scheduled. There are legal steps, political steps, and logistical steps that must happen first. The fear many seniors are feeling right now is very straightforward. If the Supreme Court decides these tariffs were not lawful and orders them removed or refunded, does that mean the $2,000 payment disappears with them? That fear is driving a lot of alarming headlines. But the reality is more nuanced. Even if the court rules against the current tariff structure, that does not automatically eliminate the government's ability to raise revenue through other legal methods. Governments don't operate with only one tool. When one approach is blocked, another is often introduced. What matters most for you, as someone protecting your retirement, is recognizing that no final decision has been made yet. We are still in the wait and see phase. And while waiting is uncomfortable, especially when money is involved, it's far better than making assumptions that could lead to stress or poor financial choices. To understand why this proposed $2,000 payment keeps being tied to tariffs, it helps to look at how the idea was first presented. The payment has been described not as traditional stimulus, but as a dividend, money returned to the public from revenues collected through tariffs on imported goods. The argument is that if the country is bringing in large sums from overseas imports, some of that money could be shared with Americans who are feeling the pressure of rising costs. On the surface, that explanation sounds simple. But the numbers underneath it are where things get complicated. Sending a $2,000 payment to a large portion of the population could cost anywhere from $300 billion to well over $600 billion, depending on eligibility. That's an enormous expense to cover all at once. This is why economists point out that while tariffs may generate a lot of money over time, they don't necessarily generate enough in a single year to comfortably fund a nationwide payment of that size. Over a 10-year period, the math looks very different. Spread over a decade, a $2,000 payment becomes a smaller portion of total revenue, something closer to a long-term profit share. That's why you may hear discussions about longer timelines or future distributions instead of an immediate check. But, and this is important, none of this has been finalized. There is no official plan spelling out when payments would happen, who would qualify, or how exactly they would be funded. These are discussions, not instructions. Eligibility is another major unknown. As of now, there are no official income limits, no confirmed rules, and no guarantee that Social Security recipients would automatically qualify. Some comments have suggested income thresholds under $100,000, but even that has not been confirmed. A retiree living on Social Security alone might qualify. A married couple with combined income might not. Certain benefits could be counted or excluded. Until official guidance is released, anyone claiming certainty is guessing. This is why I always encourage seniors not to mentally spend money that hasn't been approved. Hope is natural, but assumptions can quietly undermine financial stability. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine a retiree who delays a medical procedure or postpones paying down a credit card because they believe a check is coming. If that check is delayed or never arrives, the stress compounds. That's not a position anyone deserves to be in after a lifetime of hard work. Another concern I want to gently raise is scams. Whenever stories about stimulus or payments circulate, scammers move quickly. You may receive calls, emails, or texts claiming they can help you claim your $2,000. Please remember this clearly. No legitimate government agency will contact you asking for your Social Security number, bank information, or a fee to release a payment. If something feels off, pause and talk to a trusted family member or advisor before responding. Emotionally, this back and forth can be exhausting. One day the payment is guaranteed. The next day, it's supposedly dead. This roller coaster doesn't help anyone, especially retirees who value peace of mind. Try to limit how much time you spend consuming dramatic updates. Focus instead on what you can control. Your routine, your budget, your long-term plan. Calm, steady decisions almost always outperform reactive ones. So where does this leave us right now? The honest answer is here. We do not yet know how the Supreme Court will rule. We do not know whether current tariffs will remain, change, or be replaced. And we do not know whether a $2,000 payment will ultimately be approved. Anyone claiming certainty is offering confidence, not facts. What we do know is that discussions are ongoing, and the idea is not automatically off the table, even in a worst-case legal scenario. From a retirement planning perspective, the smartest approach is to treat any potential payment as a bonus, not a foundation. Continue managing your finances as if it may never arrive. If it does come one day, let it be welcome relief, not something you depended on to stay afloat. That mindset protects your independence and your peace of mind. If you've made it this far with me, I want you to know something. You're not wrong for paying attention. You're not wrong for hoping. And you're not wrong for feeling concerned when your money feels tied to decisions beyond your control. These reactions are human. But you also deserve clarity instead of fear and information that helps you feel steady, not anxious. That's why Retirement Briefing exists. If today's conversation helped you feel a little more grounded, a little more informed, or a little less worried, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Retirement Briefing. It truly helps more seniors find calm, reliable guidance in a noisy world. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one money lesson you wish you had learned earlier in life? Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs right now.